You all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be.
Hey, y'all.
You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
When I was younger, I was the robber on constant robbers. Grew up, bitch, I'm a robber on constant robbers. On a low, scary cop in the city, bitch, trying to stop us. It was me, Johnny B, and my papa was really flocks. Had like 50 guns stuffed in a truck, riding in Compton. I had put up onto cash and them niggas and got them popping. Made a stop up on the bully, seen plenty bitches who rockin'. When I knock a hoe, I'm breaking her sister, cousin, and mama. On my back, got the mama, ain't nothing hello about me. I be hanging out the sunroof, chopper, swinging the hottie. Got the whole city turned up, poppin', feeling like Rory. Needed me a tier 3, MBA calling me Poppy. I'm a little ugly nigga, these bitches just got me hockey. I ain't even rich yet, the vision just got me roddy. If you see my jaw sagging, I'm probably just about to Molly. When they hear I'm still in jail, they gon' really be trying to stop me. When they sentence me in court, my mouth shit and crying. Any nigga say fuckin' with Von Kelly, he dying. Any nigga say fuckin' with Von Kelly, he dying. They can play this back in court, I don't give a fuck about no time. Ain't a brother from LA, but I'm really off for that crime. I was hitting licks and getting my paper when I was 9. I ain't got a problem picking up bitches who tryna fly. You don't fuck with Cash App, then send me mine on the chime. Them niggas tell I'm thuggin', you changing them niggas' life. Why it always be your brother to swing on you with that knife? I be quick to catch a fade like I pray for this all my life. You that one scary nigga, always tryin' break up a fight. I ain't have her for no money, she got me out overnight. When I sweep her off her feet, you can fuck her and pay her price. If a bitch ain't got a fee, I don't touch it until it's right. When she asks me do I love her, I tell her I probably.
You all a bunch of fucking assholes.
Alright, so today, who am I? Okay. So this is Author Aseera, in case you have not caught one of my first few videos. I think I don't know if I'm gonna upload this third or fourth. I know don't with the nails, because nail day is Monday. That was the first available. 2 of them gone. Don't. I was actually gonna go after I got my hair done today and get them soaked off at another place, and then go to Nail by Z Monday, just to kind of save her some time, that she don't have to soak my nails off. But I was like, nope, I'ma just stay with Z and let her do everything. So y'all hang in there with me. I got a couple of days of looking like this. I'm be hiding my hands. I can't do it. But y'all know, like I said, I give y'all good nails. So the next video after this, we gonna have some new nails to look at. So again, this is Author Aseera, and I am here. Let me take these glasses off because they're like the glare. I haven't gone to get my contacts yet, y'all. I've been busy, yo. I've been so busy. Ugh. All right. So, Author Aseera, Aseera. Yeah, that is how you spell my name. And because I always say rep your brand, I am going to show you guys a few of my books before we get into the review, and just like some of the genres that I do write in, and why it says Jay-Z of the book world, which is the name that somebody else coined for me. And when they introduce me at events, that is how they introduce me. And I am actually I'm an introvert, right? Now, when I'm throwing events or I'm attending events, I'm sociable. But I'm like a quiet type person. I know on these, y'all like, no, she not. But I am, until I'm comfortable around you. So I do this better than anything else, right? Like, I get to talk to you, and it's just me and you, but you later. I do that better. So, so this right here is one of my fantasy books, because I do write across genres. So this is Her Song, A Siren's Tale, and it is actually part 1 of a 2-book series, and I do have book 2 here, just in case you guys are like, who is this chick? Let me look some of her stuff up on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart.com, Goodreads, Wattpad, other sites as well. This is part 2. So if you see this one first, wait, read this one second. Okay, so this is Her Song, part 2. And again, fantasy, right? And then I have contemporary romance, or women's fiction as well. And things can be more than one genre, and we're going to talk about that today with Khatari's book, Author Khatari's book, Thru Hell and High Water. We're gonna like kind of hold on. Somebody said, "Oh, that's my daughter." Somebody was sending me a message. I'm like, "Wait, who's that?" So with Author Khatari's book, Thru Hell and High Water, we're gonna talk about things fitting into more than one category, which we know that they can. Or you might be new to the game. You might think, "Oh no, I thought it was just one category," which it can be, or it can be more than one. Again, I have some more women's fiction. Where's my first book on this one? Okay, so this one is a series. So I'm gonna show y'all real quick the series, and this is the first series that I ever wrote. So it's the If He Loved You series, and it's just a little bit about that book. It's three friends kind of going through life situations together. So the first book is If He Loved You, and then I kind of give you each friend a book. So then we have If He Loved You 2, which is Kenna's story, and then we have If He Loved You 3, which is Bobby's story. And then we do have If He Loved You 4, which is Tina's story. You know, so then we have like that African-American urban fiction, or the contemporary African-American contemporary fiction, women's lit, you know, if it can fit into any of those. And then we have more fantasy with my Chosen series, which does really well, and that we are working on bringing. I know y'all like, she said that a couple years ago, but we are working to bring it to the screen. But it's a fantasy film, and I want it to look like a good fantasy film. You know what I'm saying? It takes money, so that means like you got to do certain things to finance it, and that's what we're doing. That and another one of my books. And then we have my latest book that came out, and I'm finishing up part 2 to this, which is The Protector by Any Means, and part 2 will be out soon. And then we have some Black historical fiction. One of my Black historical fiction books, The Queen's Plan, which, okay, kind of like leans in a little bit with Khatari's book. It leans in with it, not as well as one of my other books that I just sent the last signed copy of out. So I don't have that actual book with me, but I will tell you that book when we do the commonality in a minute. So this is The Queen's Plan. So keep that in mind when we think about bringing another woman into our situation. And then we have The Bite That Binds, which is a paranormal shifter romance series. And it has a spinoff of Sawyer's Revenge Part 1 and 2. So that's just one of the reasons that, you know, when it says Jay-Z in a book where I know you're like, well, this girl full of herself. I mean, do I think I'm a good writer? Yeah, I do. I think I'm a good author, and I write across genres. I'm not in a box, you know, and, you know, people enjoy my work, and I love that. You know what I'm saying? I love that people enjoy my work. I feel like, you know, that just makes me feel good. I'm always still nervous, and I always strive to do better for you guys. So let's get into it. So Author Khatari, this is not the first book that I have read of his. I believe the first one was Soul Survivor. It was, or Dirtbag. It was one of them. I read it. It was months ago, you guys. It was a good read. I'm not mad at it, right? So let's get into Thru Hell and High Water. Oh my goodness. So this book has a couple, right? Troy and Trinity. I know it's just like a habit to put my glasses on, even whether I need them or not, which I do kind of need them a little bit if I'm trying to see something far, but you know, it's just a habit to have them on. So Troy and Trinity are a couple, right? They're not married. They're really, you know what I'm saying, they're in love with each other. They're living with each other. Trinity is an anthropologist, and she teaches at the university. Okay, so smart girl, right? A little bit later in the book, she becomes head of the anthropology department. And you know we love that for Black girls. We love, you know, our educated Black girls. We love it. Move up, girl. Move up that ladder. I love that for her. And then we have Troy, who is her boyfriend, and he does have he has an education. It's like in construction management or something like that. And he does construction. He's trying to get into, you know, counseling kids at youth. He's trying to get to counseling youth, which is something that I did. I worked with kids from 5 to 21 in residential treatment facilities. So, you know, that's very admirable. I love that that's what he was trying to do. And let me back up, right? I don't have my notes with me. If you guys watch before, I have notes, and usually that's because I take a journal to my patient's house. I just, you know, have my one patient who I love, but I don't have my journal with me to make the notes, so I'm kind of freestyling here, and y'all will kind of see that. So let me go back to the commonality. So with this book, the common thread between this book that I have Thru Hell and High, that Khatari has Thru Hell and High Water, is with one of my books, which is called They Did It for Love. Okay, and I'm going to link both of them below, because I try to relate, to the author or to their book or something like that. I think that when things are relatable, you kind of give them more of a chance, or like it makes them more enjoyable, you know what I'm saying? So I try to do that. Like I try to relate with something that I may have in common with one of the authors, or with something that I have in common, one of my books has in common with their books. So, I do want to try, to do that. So with Khatari's Thru Hell and High Water, it's a similar circumstance as my book, They Did It for Love, wherein you are with somebody, you're in a relationship with somebody, you're committed to somebody, and something happens where they need your help, like they're sick, you know what I'm saying, whether it be that they have cancer or they were in an accident or whatever it is, and it's like, how do we get through this together? Okay, so that's kind of what the basis of both of the books are. So when I first started reading Author Khatari's book, right, it was a little slow to kind of get into. So I'm like, okay, it was a lot of sex in it, and I love a good, trip to Pound Town, in a book, right? But there was a lot of that in it, and I'm like, okay, is this erotica, right? So that's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, okay, is this erotica? Because Troy and Trinity, they just like boo do 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 all the beginning of the book, and I'm like, get it, but what else are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Because Troy was looking for a job, okay? So I love that, they still was getting it in, and he was looking, he was trying to find a job. He's going on interviews and everything like that. It was a lot of sex. I'm like, oh, this isn't erotica. So I stopped reading the book, and I went to the page to see, what the genre was, like what it was classified as. And it was classified as African-American, like mystery thriller. I love that. I write those as well. Like I said, I have over 80 some books. I only showed you guys a few. So I was like, okay, I'm probably like 30% or so in. What's the mystery, right? So there's an incident happens. Now he wants to propose to her. An incident happens and he is paralyzed. So now she needs to take care of him. They are not married. So my first thought was, girl, y'all not married. He does want to marry her. And I don't want to give everything away in the book, but his plan is to marry Trinity. Now, this book touches on a lot of different things. It touches on that for better or for worse aspect. So I don't want to say, because some people are married, some people believe in marriage, some people don't. Some people have been together, and not legally married longer than people who are legally married. So when I saw how Trinity was being treated, as she did nothing but try to take care of this man, I was like thinking in my head a couple of things. The first one was, where his mama at? Right? Because the mama showed up one time in the book, and she was rude to Trinity. It was right after the accident. She don't like Trinity. My son could do better. Ma'am, your son is with a whole anthropologist, you know what I'm saying? He the one looking for a job. And that's not to say that that's a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? Things happen. Recessions happen, the area that you work in may not be hiring right now. You know what I'm saying? You do what you have to do, and if that's your man, you hold him down. You know what I mean? So, but the way his mama was talking, and then the way that he was treating her in the book, and she was just trying to kind of like deal with the situation and be there for him and hold it down, I was like, girl, where he acting like that, send him to his mama. Like, where his mama at? Because you're not gonna talk to me any kind of way. We not doing that. We just not. And I'm in here like, giving you your medicine, feeding you, making sure your nurse is here, like, and you talking to me like I'm trash. But on the other hand, it touches on mental health and the toll that it takes to be somebody, a caretaker, whether it's to a family member, whether that's your profession, because you're going to have patients, family members, whoever, who are going through changes when they're sick, you know what I'm saying, and they can't do what they used to do, and they're going to be depressed, and they're going to be anxious. Y'all hear my dogs? My doggies out back. I put them out before we started. So And the loudest one is the smallest one. That's my Morky Baron. He's just like barking all over the place. So that's if y'all can hear it. So I'm like, where's this dude's mama? Because he ain't married you, and you taking care of him. You really down, like, for better or for worse, as if he has. And he's, you know what I'm saying, he's taking his depression, his anxiety, and his anger out on you. And I understand that, because that comes with it. That is a part of it. A lot of patients who, are in, the hospital for things like that, amputees, you know what I'm saying, terminal illnesses, they've been paralyzed, you know what I'm saying, they, something acute or tragic has happened. They are on antidepressants and anxiety meds and things like that. So I understood that for, that Troy was going through something, but he was just downright nasty. And I was like, the way Trinity was suffering, I was like, she must be going, trying to become a saint. Like, is she up for sainthood? He got the right one, because I have no such aspirations. I'm not trying to be a saint. I could, if I'm married to you, that's better or for worse. If I'm not, I might question, like, I do gotta out, but you love somebody, you stay. So I was kind of conflicted on, what her situation is. But Trinity, I'm not even going to tell y'all. But Trinity, you know what I'm saying, she did get to a point where she had enough. And she did a little something. She did a little something. So but I'll let y'all kind of get into that. You know what I'm saying? When I was reading this book and like seeing the way he was talking to her and everything, what came to mind? What is that movie with Elisa Deal with the dude? Oh my gosh, y'all know the one I'm talking about. Charles, when she's sitting there eating that salad with Charles, you know what I'm saying? She's talking to Charles across the table. What's the name of that movie? Somebody dropped that, the name of the movie. And she eating a salad, telling him about his little mistress, and he in the wheelchair because he done had the accident. That came to mind because I said, okay. that did kind of flash in my mind with like the way he was treating her. So we have, Trinity and Troy, they're going through the situation. So we have the nurse Stephanie. And as soon as I saw Nurse Stephanie, I knew it was trouble. And because I am a nurse. But here's the thing. With Stephanie and the whole thing, where I had to go back and look at the genre. A lot of what happened in the book, I feel like, had like 75% to do with lust, and maybe 25% of like, I love this person for the person that they are. Because there was just like so much of, I need to get well, but so I can have sex with my woman. I can give her what she needs. It's like, yeah, I want to take care of her. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the man of the house, and I want to be able to walk and everything. But I want to be able to give her this. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of her thing was, I'm missing that, which it's a big thing. If somebody is sick, it's a big thing sexually. But I felt like that was like prominent. You understand what I'm saying? I felt like, even before the accident, I was like, is he, yeah, I'm sure she's a great person. And he talks about how she's a great person, but it was just like very centered around sex with them. So even when he started to get, things started to kind of turn around for him, it kind of started with the sex organ. In comes the nurse. So probably about 60, maybe like 50, 60 some percent in, I started to see where it was going with the mystery thriller, right? Because I already knew Stephanie was a problem. I just knew, as soon as they said the live-in nurse, you know what I'm saying, Stephanie or whatever, and he had some thoughts about her, which that's natural or whatever. It might be like, dang, she looked kind of good, or or he's sexy. And Trinity, you do know there are male nurses. I just want to let you know, just in case he relapses. So I'm like, okay, something's funny with this nurse. Child. As the story went on, I was like, what in the erotic, convalescent, behavioral health unit, delusion, is what is going on? Like, Stephanie was plain out of her mind. She was out of her mind. So I'm trying not to give this book away, right? Because it's a mystery thriller, suspense. And I try not there, sometimes it might be a little bit of spoiler. And like I said, I'm the type of person I can deal with spoilers. I don't care. But I try not to give them really to you guys, because you might be somebody like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But let's just say that because of the amounts of lust in these three individuals, Troy, Trinity, and Stephanie, I feel like that's where the big ass mess came in, because he proposed something to Trinity because what happened because he was lusting after Stephanie. So then it was like, okay, so since the area that Stephanie helped me in, you know what I'm saying, is the only area, that's the area that woke up first. How about we do this? Trinity. Ma'am. Stephanie would have got the hell out of my house, and Troy, I would have been rolling his bed down the street to his mama house, because don't ask me that, okay? And then the fact that this chick is like, oh yeah, I studied this type of medicine and I studied that type of medicine. No, I don't care what you study. What is your degree in? What is your certification in? What is your licensure in? Is it in all of this different medication? You think you're going to be in here doing all of this, and working my man up and doing this, that, and the other, just so that he can, get to a point so that we can, he wanted, of course he wanted his function back all the way, but it just seems centered around sex, right? A lot. Like, I just feel like lust, I feel like this could have been in the erotica category too. So just keep that in mind, Khatari. You could probably put it in that one too, even though I will say this. It was quite a way to mix several genres in one. And I wouldn't think to have something that could be in erotica also be able to be, a mystery thriller suspense movie, but it absolutely, book, or it could be a movie. So I would never think that can all be, and I don't know if that was in your mind as well. Like, let me mix some genres up that people don't generally see together, or maybe, you know what I'm saying? But that is what it was. So I kept reading because I wanted to know. I was like, what is this crazy girl going to do? Because Stephanie was like, she came off she was very, very much a wolf in sheep's clothing. I will say that, because we put in, as a, a caregiver and, a healthcare worker, and somebody who, my daddy was sick, and passed away, he was sick for, years, getting sicker, until he passed away. So as some, people who, you want to trust the people that you entrust your loved ones to, right? You want to trust them. You want to trust that they're going to do the right thing. They're going to take care of your family member. They're going to take care of you. They have you and your family's best interest in mind. They're, and at the core of it, they're a good human being. No. The whole fact that Stephanie agreed to what it was that Troy proposed, which I'm not going to even, y'all got to read it, lets me know that she was on some other stuff, okay? Because my patient, they can't come to me. Like, they can't come to me and be like, yo, so, that booty a little fat, and I was looking at you over there, and, I'm just saying, so, like, since you're going to be here anyway, for these 12 hours, or this 24-hour on and off shift, and, well, how about, like, I'll be like, sign this time card. For right now, for this second, sign this, because I'm to the left. I ain't got time. Don't even talk to me like that. I don't care what he look like. I don't care if it's Idris. Well, I don't know. We might could talk, but you're like, no, because that just crosses the line. And the whole thing was lust driven, and it was unprofessional, right? But I did see, I think, more towards the end of the book, I could see how much it was that he truly loved her for more. It wasn't so much lust driven. He was really there for Trinity, because it came a point in time that due to the mess that Stephanie was on, Trinity needed a caretaker. Lord, when I tell you, I was like, what am I reading? Like, and listen, and I gotta be honest with my stuff. I was like, what am I reading? Like, this is crazy. This is stupid. Not the book, but the decisions that they were making, the choices that they were making. I was like, who does that? Like, literally, where they do that at? Like, who, what, where? Like, ma'am, you know, my mom and my dad, they said before, like, common sense is not common. And that is like, that's what this book was about. You know what I'm saying? It really was. There was somebody that I felt like, and they was only in like 3.5 scenes. That was the person I loved in the book, and that was Keek. I gotta say, that was Troy's best friend. You know, he came through for Troy and was like, and he only popped up a few times, and he was the one who was making sense. Like, he was the one that was making sense. I was just like, yes, Keek was bae in his 3.5 scenes. Give me him, not Troy, Mr. Oh, I'm gonna marry her, but everything gotta be right first. And sidebar, that I think be an excuse for men, right? That's what I think. I think that sometimes, and I understand wanting to like have yourself together. I'm the type person, like, we can build together. Like, if we have the foundation and we love each other, like, we don't have to be millionaires coming together. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta have a plan to get there. We can get married, you know what I'm saying, and live in the, you know what I'm saying, in the condo while we work on buying the, you know, the other properties. Like, we can do that together. Like, I don't feel like you got to wait till you got your whole life together. I do think that you should be a provider. You should be trying to provide. There are things you should be able to provide before you take and you start a family. But I do think that some men will tell you for 20 years that they trying to, you know, get themselves together, get on their feet. They want to be able to buy the first house, you know, outright. I want to be able to come to the table with, you know, with the $750,000, you know, for the house, you know what I mean, before I marry you. Like, sir, you dragging your feet. And I think that's what Troy was doing. You know, he was trying to do it, but he, you know, to marry Trinity, but he was kind of taking his time with it. And the accident happened before they actually had a chance to get married. So to me, I felt like she had some outs, because at the time that this started, they were not married. They weren't married. And like, if she really needed to go, and it was like weighing on her the way it was, and it was very, very hard on her. I commend her for staying. I don't know that somebody I was not married to who was sick and treating me a certain type of way, I don't know if I could have stayed in that relationship. He may have had to, I don't know, I may have had to step back. I don't know what I would have done in that situation. And I think that it does make you now, you know what I'm saying, husband, yes, you know what I'm saying, but I feel like, I don't know. I think that this book was designed to make you think. So it did. It made me think on different levels. It made me think, what I have been able to deal with this, the way that he was treating me, the way that it was taking a toll on my mental, that's your mental health and your emotional health. If it's being strained, and like to the point where like you needing, you know, some other stuff to go on, you know, like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, she was getting sick herself. It was just crazy. I might have to step away. Like, I is it for good? Maybe not. But I might have to step away and be like, your mama got to come do this. Because, I mean, she was talking like you was so much, you know, higher and better than me. Like, she act like you found me, you know, in the slums or something like that. So, where your mama at? Because she ain't changed one brief. She ain't, you know what I'm saying, put 1 tablespoon of mashed potatoes up to your lips. You know what I'm saying? She ain't, you know, changed 1 colostomy bag. Like, where's she at? Because she was talking tough in the hospital, baby. So come get your baby boy, okay? Like, that's what I would have been on if I was Trinity. I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I got to be honest. And even if I would have, you know what I'm saying, I still would have visited. I still would have made sure his nursing was in place. But as for me and us having this relationship, like, you killing me, bruh. Like, I'm about to be in the bed next to you. Like, you killing me. And then for him to come up with that, you know, plan that he came up with, because he was lusting, you know, after both of them, really, you know, his woman and the nurse. I thought that was crazy. And then for her to be like, to go along with it was crazy. And they just opened the door for the batshit crazy that Stephanie brought. So I mean, it did. Like, it made me think of mental health, of are people together for the right reasons? How much should we endure just because somebody is, sick or, incapacitated? It did. It made me think, you know what I'm saying? So as far as, and I try to not give away too much, okay? It is at the heart of it. It is a book of, can our relationship survive if we have to go through all of these things? And when it rains, it pours. And it definitely poured. It definitely poured. So I was stuck. I was like, okay, y'all, okay, and let me just, I should say this at the beginning for anybody who doesn't know. My rating scale is in halves because, like I said, I hate that you can't like half rate on Amazon. So I was stuck. I was like, is this a 3.5? Which again, a 4 stars for me is probably like a 5 star for, Amazon or something like that, because I am hard, I'm a hard person when I'm reading a book, and I'm a hard person when I'm writing a book. That's just how it is for me. So I have to be engaged. So I will say that it was slow for me in the beginning. I was confused about the genre. I was like, is this an erotica? Like, what is, what I'm saying? What's the, if I have to go back and say, okay, what's the genre? So I was kind of like, because I had to wonder, I couldn't give it 5 stars. So then it would go to, 4.5. So I'm like, okay, this is, starting off slow. So 4. And then I was like, something's not sitting right with me. But it was kind of like with the relationship stuff that was going on between everybody. So it kind of kicked it to a 3.5. But as the book went on, it went back up to a 4 for me, because it did just it highlighted a lot of different things. Even, spiritually, what I'm saying? Because towards the end, it could have almost been, Christian fiction if it didn't have so much sex in it. So, that's why I said it had elements of so many different genres that I kind of had to say, what I'm saying, which is not bad, what I'm saying? Because you can have like, a sci-fi fantasy thriller, what I'm saying? Like, you can have suspense, you can have like a, what I'm saying, you can have like different genres. It was just a lot going on in the book. And like I said, I feel like at the core, it was lust driven, what I'm saying? But then it came to a point where, it was like, look, can't nobody help us out of this mess but God. And that was true. They needed God, every single last one of them. Because, baby, especially Stephanie. Stephanie definitely needed to be committed, okay? She needed her diagnosis. She needed to come up to the window. She needs to receive her medication in a paper cup. She needs to open her mouth and be checked to make sure that she has swallowed her medication. She needs to be in group therapy. She needs to be in art therapy. She needs to be in her one-on-one therapy. She needs all of it. Okay, she needs a one-on-one. She needs a one-to-one. She's probably gonna need time out. Stephanie is batshit crazy, and when I say batshit crazy, I want you guys to really, really just read the book. Okay, read the book. Because Khatari took them through hell, high water, the flood, the hurricane. Okay, he didn't get them no ark. All right, all he gave them was a crazy nurse, an absent, judgmental mama. All right, he didn't even get them no meds. He didn't get them near enough wine. Okay, he gave them a lot of tea. Watch what people put in your drink, baby. He gave him some tea and some shakes and some drink. He didn't, and then, and this is something else, right? Trinity had a sister, and she was in it a little bit, but she wasn't in it enough for me when Trinity was going through her stuff. Like when she needed him. And the reason that she needed him, Trinity needed Troy to help her, was on the strength of Stephanie being batshit crazy. So I'm like, where's her sister at? You know what I'm saying? And then one of the parts where like Stephanie was able to reach Trinity, I'm like, where's the protection? Like, it was just a lot of things. I was like, people in this book dropping the ball. Not Khatari, as far as writing the book, but it was like the people that should have been in place to help them where they needed it were like dropping the ball. You know what I'm saying? And she had like some support, but maybe not. And it was a lot. And I hope I'm not like talking in circles, but I'm trying not to. It's like if I say too much, I'm gonna just tell the book. But again, for me, if I was watching this, I wouldn't care. Like, I'd be like, tell me all of it, because I'm still gonna read, because I know something is left out or whatever. So in the rating, I will give him a 4. Okay, it was sitting at a 3.5 for me, which is still good, because like I said, I know I'm hard on the rating, but I am gonna stick with the 4. I'm gonna, okay, because somebody told me like, you gotta stop being so, you gotta kind of like relax a little bit and give things a chance. So I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna stand on a 4, because it gave me a lot, and it will give the readers a lot to consider in different aspects, right? So you are looking at, you know, how much lust can play, how much of a role lust can play, and like damn near wrecking your life, right? Hold on, guys. Let me check the time, because I got to pick Bubs up from school. Okay, so I got a couple minutes before I got to get around here and pick Bubby up from school, because I'm about that mom life. I told y'all in what, video number 2, I got 4 kids. So, you know, I got to go get Bubby. I got to be in that pull-up line so my Bubby can come and get in the car. So it made you think, okay, how much of a role lust can play in the decisions you make. And, you know what I'm saying? And how much that can kind of like take your life on the wrong road, right? Down the wrong road. It makes you consider mental health, you know what I'm saying, on different aspects. It makes you, you know, consider commitment, and how much commitment and loyalty do you owe somebody who you are not married to, or somebody who is, because they are having a hard time and you totally understand that and you're willing to support them. They are like making your mental and physical health bad. Like, do you stay? Do you step away? What do you do? I'm sorry, let me get this my little alarm. What do you do? Like, do you stay? You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, friendships. Like, you know, like I said, Keek was bae. And like, give Keek a book, Khatari. Give Keek a book, okay? That's what you could do for me, all right? So we could see what Keek's life is about, because I was with that, okay? You could put Troy in it, but give me Keek. And just like who we entrust, you know, our loved ones to, in desperation. Where desperation, because they were desperate too. Like, they were desperate in that situation, almost beyond reason. And so that played a part in it, because I'm sure there were, like, if Trinity wasn't desperate to have Troy back, then she would not, it's no way she would have agreed to what she agreed to. And then, like, that put her in a situation where she could have died. Like, it was just crazy. I will say that it was every bit a mystery thriller. It was every bit a mystery thriller. I will say that. So I would say pick it up. For me, it is 4 stars. I did rate it, and I did do a review, I believe. Well, let me check, because I know I rated it, but I didn't know if I don't remember if I wanted to wait until I did this review to do, you know, write a review, but I'm pretty sure I did. But I did give it a 4, which is high for my rating scale. So, Khatari, I did enjoy the book. I am going to link it. I did, like I said, it was slow. It picked up kind of slow. I was confused about the genre at first. And then I was like, do he love her because she got that thing? Because she be throwing that thing back? Or do he love her because, you know what I'm saying? And she takes care of him while he's looking for a job? Or is it like love? And I could see at the end, it was love. So it was just like, where does like lust, you know, desperation, a breakdown in mental health and commitment, like, it just made you kind of think about all of those things. And I love a book that makes you consider things. I don't like a book that's like, all right, I know where this is going. So, and they're like, man, this ain't what are they talking about. Like, I like a book that does that. So for me, Thru Hell and High Water by Author Khatari is a 4. But Trinity, like I said, she was up for sainthood, and I don't know if I got that in me. Of course, like I said, we married, been together, like, that's one thing. I don't even think they had been together like that long. I mean, it's some years, maybe like 2-3 years or something, when everything happened, if that. So, like, and you could love somebody totally after 6 months. I don't think that you can't. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, for all of that happened, I needed a ring to start with. Because it was a lot. It was a lot. But I didn't hate that. I don't hate that it was a lot. I don't hate that. So yeah. Okay, so like I said, I gotta go get Bubby. There's so much more I can say. I hope you guys kind of got where I was coming from. You kind of see what kind of book it is. I hope it kind of piqued your interest, the review. And yeah, like I think that Khatari is a good author. I really do. And I am going to read more of his stuff. Like I said, when I'm writing, I am not reading. And because I've been doing so much writing, mostly for other people and a lot of development and editing and things, I had not been reading, but now I'm kind of, I am still doing that stuff, but I'm making time for the reading, and I'm making time to do this for authors, especially indie authors, and especially authors who look like us, so that we can have a platform. We have somebody that's like looking at our books. They're reading our books. They are supporting us. We're supporting each other. We're finding out what we have in common. How can we come together? Like, can we, do events, which I'm throwing events, at the winery now for different authors and hip hop artists and things like that. So, and I'll give more information on that as well. So, like, I love, for us to come together and do these little things for each other, because I just think that they help. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you guys enjoy it. Like and subscribe. And I'm going to try to drop one every week. So, yeah. Khatari's Thru Hell and High Water. Thru Hell and High Water, available on Amazon. And I will be dropping the link. So, like I said, I have to go pick Bubby up from school. Thank you guys for kind of like dealing with me being all over the place. I didn't have my notes. But yeah, I think it was a good read. I don't think that you'll regret it. So just kind of, keep everything in mind when you're reading it. And I think that it'll be like, it'll definitely have you like, okay, what's going to happen next? What they going to do next? Because you either going to want to know what they're going to do next because they're making stupid decisions, or that that's about to lead to some trouble. So either way, it kept you engaged once it picked up. So all right, I will talk to you guys next review. And I promise I will have new nails. All right, y'all.